Okay, so um, I've been testing some pickups lately. Well, testing and testing, but the Seymore Duncan Blackouts and the EMGs both active. Something that I'm kind of curious about is that in all the wiring diagrams for the Seymour for the blackout pickups, there seems to be a ground cable from the bridge. That will cause a major problem if you don't have a great connection in between your bridge and the grounding cable that is supposed to be attached under the bridge of your guitar. If you have a Les Paul type, on the string holder, on the bushing for the string holder, there should be a ground cable attached too. So I I have a few guitars with Seymour Duncans in it, some Strats, and well, I think both guitars are Strats. So that's the blackouts, the normal, just the most common blackouts pickups out there. Um, I'm looking at the wiring diagram and I see this grounding cable from the bridge. So, however, I have the ground cable attached to the circuit, so to speak, but still I get this very bad feedback at from low volume to high volume. So that's something that I noticed before, because I had guitars back in the past when the blackouts just came out, maybe 10 years ago, or maybe, well, I don't know when, but it's a long time ago. And I had the same problem, that bad feedback. There is no really quiet signal through the amplifier. So I guess that's why I really like the EMGs a lot better, because I don't have a grounding cable on my active EMGs. In fact, all my guitars has EMGs except from the two Strats with the blackouts in them. None of my guitars with EMGs have no noise, no feedback, no nothing. It's dead quiet when you're not playing, of course. So that's what I like very much about the EMGs. And I also think that the EMGs have a little bit of the tone is, I don't know about the output, but I think the blackout actually have higher output, but the um, the fatness to the tone is more what I like of the EMG pickup, EMG 81, than I like from blackout, because the blackout is kind of a little bit darker, almost like a messed up EMG 85 or something like that. Um, so even though a EMG 85 is still much better sounding than a blackout in my opinion. So I'm actually thinking about getting rid of my blackouts. So if you want to buy them for a cheap price, just drop a comment down below here, or maybe you should send me an email here on YouTube. Anyway, I'm not about to sell them right now, and maybe I will not sell them at all, but I will try to swap them for EMGs, because EMG is really good pickup. I really like EMGs. That's with that said, EMG 81, EMG 60. That's what I like the most, and that's what I have in most of my guitars. So I'm not happy about Seymore Duncan Blackouts. I am not happy with these pickups. I'm sorry, Seymour Duncan, but I don't think I will ever buy a set of Seymour Duncans anymore. Never ever. I don't think so because I don't like this feedback. I don't like this shielding the ground problem. I just want to put in the pickups. I want them to be dead quiet when I'm not playing, and when I'm playing, I want it to be rock and roll. Okay, so and that's what it is with a set of EMGs. That's what it is, and that's what I like about EMGs as well. So the tone is exactly what I'm looking for in EMGs. I mean, some people like the Chevys, and some people like the Dodges, and you know, some people like the Fords or whatever. It's exactly the same thing with pickups. Some people like EMGs, Seymour Duncan. It doesn't really matter what brand I'm talking about. That's just the way it is. And EMGs is my type of pickup. I mean, that's the way it is, and that's probably the way it's gonna be for the rest of my life. So I really think that you should go ahead and do some thinking before you are buying either EMGs or Seymour Duncan. If Seymour Duncan is what you're looking for, sure, go ahead and buy it. But I really think you should look into the wiring diagram first so you can see what it's all about. Whether you should ground it in the bridge or not. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter if I'm grounding my blackouts or not. I still got this bad feedback when I'm not playing. I don't like that. I don't really like that. Even when I'm playing in my rehearsal room with my band, I have the volume on my amplifier kind of high because we like to play at high volumes. Even with a noise gate, well, noise suppressor, I still get bad feedback. The noise gate can't even handle the. As I'm turning away with my guitar from the amplifier, it could be a little bit quieter, but still I get that bad feedback. So, oh no, Seymour Duncan, I'm not going to buy any more of this at any time. I'm sorry. EMG is the shit for me. I first discovered EMGs, oh my god, I think it's kind of like, I think I was maybe 15 years old or so. That's close to, what is it? 25 years ago now. And I immediately was thinking, wow, this is the stuff for me. I like this stuff. And back in the days when I was kind of like 14, 15 years old, I have a little Marshall combo, Vol State 30 watts, I think it was. So, oh gosh, you gotta love the sound of an old valve state. I mean, that's great sound. And I had I think it was a Stratocaster, no name Stratocaster. I think low brand, you know, low budget. I think it was like $200 or so. So I actually was thinking about installing some EMGs in that guitar, but I never really got the cash for it. So a few years later, I actually bought my first guitar with EMGs in there. And back in the days, you had to solder all this stuff in. So a few years ago, the EMG came out with a total solderless install, and that's awesome. There is just quick connectors. I mean, installing EMGs these days, I am sure you can do it within 15-20 minutes or so, and that's including putting on some new strings on the guitar as well, if you know what you're doing. if you are all new to this and you need to look at the wiring diagram to see where the connector is going to be and all that kind of stuff, let's say an hour or two. Well, an hour and a half or so. That's what I think. So I don't want to push you guys to anything, but I really think if you're new to active pickups, I really think you should check out the EMG 81, because EMGs are awesome pickups. I'm totally in love with EMGs. And I don't really hate the Seymore Duncan Blackouts, but that's nothing for me. That's nothing for me. I don't like it. Strange noises going on there, bad feedback. It's kind of like, it's not a quiet pickup. Maybe there is too much output, so that's why it's acting this way. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take a bunch of memories right here and gonna go ahead and go and do something else. So take care now. Bye bye.